After you've performed your first few low-intensity upper eyelid tightening treatments using plasma and you've seen the results, then it is time for you to start moving on to the medium intensity treatments. So for now, sit back, relax and enjoy these medium intensity treatments by using electrical arcing or plasma for upper eyelid tightening. Now, this is an example of medium intensity treatment. The reason is not only the device setting, which is 3 battery configuration, level 1, so it's very low power setting, but is mainly because of 2 reasons. The spot duration is almost instantaneous, as you can see. At the moment it's quite blurred, the image is blurred, but it's going to change in a second. So the spot duration is quite instantaneous, and the distance between the spots is in the region of sometimes 1 to 2 millimeters, depending on where the aesthetic practitioner is placing the spots. But the aesthetic practitioner is trying to place the spots randomly, and will follow through the end of the video. As you can see, the person who's been treated is quite comfortable because we've used a good topical numbing product, and yes, the procedure is carrying on. The spots are placed once again almost instantaneously. You can almost see the spark. Sometimes it's quite hard to see. Also, the other thing to notice is that the operator is touching the skin. If you have a lot of experience with these devices, then you're able to generate the arc without even touching the skin. But that's it for this particular video. So this is another very interesting video. It's very interesting because it is actually the same aesthetic practitioner that is performing this treatment, the same aesthetic practitioner that we've seen in the previous video. And it's very interesting because now she's asking for her to open the eyes. It's very interesting because now you can see that just 1 day after, the aesthetic practitioner is able to generate the arc quite well without even touching the skin. Once again, the duration of the arc is quite instantaneous, a quarter of a second. The device setting is level 1 with 3 batteries, and you see the distance between the spots is sometimes between 2 to 1 millimeters, and the area covered is not very large. And so this is a good example of medium intensity treatment. This is the same person performing the treatment, but on the right eyelid, the right upper eyelid. As you can see, the spots are placed between 1 to 2 millimeters apart, and the duration of the spot is instantaneous. And in this case, the device setting, the BeautyTeck, set at level 1 with 3 batteries configuration, and the operator is covering most of the upper eyelid area, is asking the person to open her eyes every now and then, and as we've seen before, it is quite consistent to what she's going to be doing on the left upper eyelid. So once again, another example of medium intensity treatment. So this is another example of medium intensity treatment. In this case, this is a complete novel aesthetic practitioner. The mistake is quite evident. The aesthetic practitioner is actually touching the skin quite profusely using the device, and this is not to be done. It's not as if it's going to cause any real damage. It's not needed. And as you can see, whenever the skin is touched, the arc extinguishes and nothing really happens. So it's actually bothering the person more than anything else. but it's not, touching the skin per se is not a major mistake in this sort of treatments. Of course, if you just pierce the skin, then it's quite a mistake. But this is what happens when you haven't done any exercises using the test meat, so you're not particularly comfortable generating the arc. Now, the same person has been told not to touch the skin the way he'd done before, so that is getting a bit better in generating the arc. But it's always good to perform the test, the exercises on the test meat, so you know how to generate the arc quite well before going ahead and performing these treatments. Now we're moving on to the next video. This is quite a good example because you can see the person all wrapped in foil, so to speak. This is because we used EMLA for this particular treatment, and therefore the area was numbed for an hour or so. Now, this is quite a good example because the particular aesthetic practitioner is doing this treatment for the first time, but she's seen the videos in advance, so she's quite more comfortable performing this sort of treatments in terms of generating the arc and so on and whatnot. This is still classed as a medium intensity treatment, but because the spot duration is very brief, as you can see, and also the device setting is very low. But as you can see, the distance between the spots is getting tighter. So as you may remember from the online training platform, our previous videos, one of the parameters that you have to take into account when increasing the intensity is the distance between the spots. The tighter the spots, the more the intensity, the higher the intensity of the treatment itself. So this is a good example because we can see the device used at pretty much the same power level. Now it's been just increased slightly, pretty much the same power level, but the distance between the spots is decreased. You can see that the client in this particular case is quite comfortable, talking comfortably without any problem. So EMLA can be used quite well with this sort of treatments, but as we mentioned in previous videos in material online, there are stronger topical numbing products for this particular type of treatment. Some people have used injectable anesthetics, but these are not recommended at all for these treatments. Not only are they not necessary, but not recommended at all. All the treatments that have been, most of the treatments that have been performed by using topical numbing products, which are sufficient to numb the area to perform these treatments in complete comfort. One thing that we would like to point out is that when you use EMLA or any other topical numbing products, it's always better to take off the topical numbing products in stages, so that once you move to the next area, you're not going to find that the area is not numb anymore. So this is one of the common mistakes that we've seen made. As I say, you remove the whole lot from the upper eyelid. By the time you move to the next section of the upper eyelid, then that part of the eyelid is not numb, and therefore you cannot carry on performing the treatment in complete comfort. So whenever you're using topical anesthetics or topical numbing products, remember to remove them in small sections so that you can still perform the treatment in complete comfort to yourself and the client, and the client, when you move to the next section of the area that you're treating, the area is still numb, so the client will be still in complete comfort. It's quite important that the client is in complete comfort, because that speeds up the process and improves the experience of the treatment itself for the client. But this is all for this particular video. Thank you very much for watching. Should you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you.